Alright, what's up everybody? We're back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Hope you guys had a great Easter weekend and stuff like that. I know I did. Hope you guys spent time with the family, ate some food. I know I got some good brownies from my grandmother. Shout out to my man for that. But yeah, today's video, we are doing the final power rankings of the season. It's the start of the new month, which means it's new power rankings time, the final one of the regular season. I'm very excited to get into it. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. Join the membership. If you want to know more about the membership, there's a video on my channel explaining it, so go back and check that one out. Link to my Twitter, TikTok, stuff like that in the description down below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So for this power ranking video, we're not going to go in deep in like stats and stuff like that, because at this point you guys probably already know about most teams, what they're good at, what they're bad at, stuff like that. And also for the teams that are not in the play-in or not in the playoffs and anything like that, they're not going to get that much time as other teams. You know, we're trying to make this, you kind of know what these teams are already, so we're trying to make this a lot more faster. It's not going to be, well, hopefully it's not going to be like an hour video or anything like that. But alright, let's really get into it. Starting at number 30, the final worst team, we have the Detroit Pistons back at the 30th spot. They are 13-61. Once again, have the worst record in the NBA. They have the 27th ranked offense, 26th ranked defense, and are 27th in net rating. They drop one spot from last power ranking video. The Pistons have taken the reins of worst record in the NBA again after the Wizards took it. Kay Cunningham is playing really, really good though. I like how aggressive he is being. I love how Jalen Duren has been playing as well. Besides that, have not really had a whole lot, you know, to really be proud of. Unfortunately, Asar Thompson is going to be out for the season with blood clots, so hopefully he gets better and he'll be back for next season. That's a very scary injury. But yeah, the Pistons, we know who the Pistons are. They're bad, and now they're just kind of battling for the number 15 speed. At 29, we have the Washington Wizards. They are 14-61, 14th in the Eastern Conference. Look at their stats. They have the 25th rated offense, 28th rated defense. They're 29th in net rating. They jump one spot from last power ranking video. They're not the worst anymore. They're the second worst. The Wizards, again, they've been battling with the Pistons for the worst record in the league. The Wizards actually went on a 3-game win streak recently, which is not something that happens that often. That's the first time it's happened this year for the Washington Wizards. Kyle Kuzma has been playing recently. Jordan Poole is coming off the bench now, and he has actually been better. He's had a couple 30-point games. Looks a little bit more confident, so maybe, you know, you got something there. Deni Avdija has been playing good. So is Corey Kispert. Unfortunately, kind of similar to Detroit, Bilal Coulibaly is going to be out for the season. So that was a big thing to look at for the Wizards, but unfortunately that's not there. And yeah, the Wizards are still bad. They're still battling with the Pistons for the worst record in the league, and there's not really much reason to watch them anymore. Like there wasn't any really to begin with. At 28, we got the Portland Trailblazers. They are 19-55, not worse in the West. They're 14th in the Western Conference. They have the 29th rated offense, 23rd rated defense. They are 28th in net rating. They drop one spot from last power ranking video. They lost by 60 to the Miami Heat the other day. That's why they're this low. They're currently on a 9-game losing streak. They have been very, very, very bad. Again, they lost by 60 the other day to the Miami Heat. Not even like a high-powered offense. To the Miami Heat, who've been struggling to get 95 points in a game. They gave up 142. So yeah, they're bad. They've had some good things though. Delano Banton, who they got at the trade deadline, has been playing great basketball. You know, DeAndre Ayton had a little stretch during early March where he looked back to dominating. You know, they won a game or two here and there. But that's pretty much it for Portland. At 27, we have the Charlotte Hornets. They are 18-56, 13th in the Eastern Conference. They have the 28th rated offense, 29th rated defense, and are 30th in net rating. They drop one spot from last power ranking video as well. The Hornets did look decent when they did make those trade acquisitions, but month of March they came back down to earth. You know, but the good thing is they have Brandon Miller, who is still playing really good. Miles Bridges is playing really good. They still have some good things around them. Unfortunately, LaMelo Ball is not going to be able to come back this season, which sucks that we get another season of plagued LaMelo Ball injuries, which really, really sucks. And that's going to be a big question for the future on LaMelo's injuries and can he stay healthy and stuff like that. But that's more of a video, which is why I don't want to talk about the bad teams too much in this video, because I'm doing my look-in series season 2. That's gonna start at the end of the regular season, where I'm gonna really dive into these bad teams and what their future is and stuff like that. So that's why I kind of want to speed up on the bad teams in this video. I want to talk more about the playoff teams and stuff. But yeah, the Hornets are bad. At 26, we have the San Antonio Spurs. They are 18-57, last in the Western Conference. They have the 26th rated offense, 22nd rated defense, and are 25th in net rating, and they jump 2 spots from last power ranking video. They're the worst team in the West, yet they're 26th because they actually have been involved in some games. They won on a 3-game win streak recently. They've been better. Wemby is still playing amazing, especially recently. Last night against the Warriors, unfortunately they didn't win, but he had 33, 10. He almost had another 5x5. He had the game against the Knicks the other day where he had 40, 20, and 7. He's been absolutely killing it. And the Spurs have kind of been playing spoiler a little bit to some teams in this month, where they got an early win against the Warriors. I think they beat the Suns again without Wemby. They beat the Knicks in a big game. So, they've been playing spoiler a little bit, and they've looked actually a little bit better, So that's why they get a little bit higher than some other teams. At 25, we have the Toronto Raptors. They are 23-51, sitting at 12th in the Eastern Conference. They have the 24th rated offense, 25th rated defense, and are 24th in net rating. They drop 1 spot from last power ranking video. The Raptors, after winning like 3 of their first 4 games or something, coming out of the All-Star break, they have lost 13 games in a row. They're pretty bad. They don't have Scotty Barnes, who probably won't come back this season. They're playing a lot of guys that, Javon Freeman-Liberty is starting at point guard for the Toronto Raptors right now. I think that's all we need to say about what the Raptors season is going like. Unfortunately, they haven't had RJ Barrett as well due to the passing of his brother, which, prayers for the Barrett family. That's a very bad situation that happened over there. But yeah, the Raptors as a team, again, they're playing guys that no one knows about. So yeah. At 24, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. They are 24-50, sitting at 13th in the Western Conference. They have the 30th rated offense, the 11th ranked defense, and are 26th in net rating. They jump 1 spot from last power ranking video. Desmond Bane came back, which is something I was very, very surprised at this season, and he actually has some good games. Jaren Jackson has still been playing good. G.G. Jackson has still been playing good. But, again, the Grizzlies just are bad, and they have like 9 players on the injury report every game. But, still being the 11th best defense, despite having 50 losses, is something that's really, really crazy. I don't know if that's ever happened before, to be honest with you. But, yeah, that's really it. They're going to, fight, but they just are bad. At 23, we have the Utah Jazz. They are 29-46, sitting at 12th in the Western Conference. They have the 16th rated offense, 30th rated defense, 23rd in net rating. They drop 2 spots on last power ranking video. They actually were a little bit competitive early, but since coming back from All-Star break, they have just not been competitive at all. Playing guys like Taylor Hendricks, and Bryce Sensabaugh are now starting and playing minutes. They're trying to get the young guys involved. I really love Keontae George. He's one of my favorite rookies. Con Sexton has still been playing really good. But, yeah, the Jazz are just kind of like last year. They started off really good, surprising, and then at the trade deadline, All-Star break, they kind of were like, all right, we don't actually want to win. Let's just sell everything and let's get the young guys playing, and that's what they're doing now, which I don't really mind. And their defense has become the worst in the league. At 22, we have the Brooklyn Nets. They are also 29-46. They're sitting at 11th in the Eastern Conference. They have the 22nd rated offense, 19th rated defense, and are 22nd in net rating. They jump 1 spot from last power ranking video. The Nets are still a team that I don't like to watch at all. Honestly, they're a team I don't like to watch at all. Their offense is still kind of Their defense is still bad. They have Kevin Ollie now, and things have not changed at all. Which, were we expecting anything to change? No, not really. Cam Thomas is still scoring 30 points sometimes, though. So that's fun. Trendon Watford is getting minutes, and he's playing good. But that's really about it. At 21, we have the Atlanta Hawks. They are 34-40, sitting at the 10th and last play-in spot in the Eastern Conference. They have the 8th rated offense, the 27th rated defense, and are 20th in net rating. They drop 1 spot from last power ranking video. In the month of March, they lost Trae Young for probably the season with an injury. Jalen Johnson also has not played a whole lot as of recently. But they went on a 4-game win streak, and that was because of DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray kind of took reins, and that was something we were really expecting to see. What would happen with Trae Young out, DeJounte Murray kind of being back to his role of the lead guy. making everything happen. And he's been really good. He's been playing really good. He's had some big assist games. He had that game against the Celtics where he had 44 points on 44 shots. They beat the Celtics twice in a week, including having a 30-point comeback, which is not something you see that often, especially with this Boston Celtics team. So, yeah, DeJounte Murray is playing really good, and now it kind of raises questions of the future, which is something I'm going to dive more into in the look-in video I do about the Hawks, but dives in more about the future of, like, dang, do we really pick Trae Young, or do we pick DeJounte Murray? Who do we pick in that regard? I just saw earlier before making this video, Jalen Johnson's going to be back, which is big, and they're still competing for the play-in spot, you know? So maybe is Trae Young back for the play-in? I don't really know, to be honest. But, you know, with the Hawks playing like this, who knows what the Hawks can do? At 20, we have the Chicago Bulls. They're 36 and 39, sitting at 9th in the Eastern Conference. They have the 19th rated offense, 20th rated defense, and are 21st in net rating. They drop one spot from last power ranking video. The Bulls were doing good, you know. Recently, they kind of fallen a little bit. They're still the clutchest team in the league, which is very odd. You know, they beat the Timberwolves last night, which is a big win. DeMar DeRozan has been playing a lot better since coming back from All-Star break. Kobe White's still playing really good. Alex Caruso has been playing really good. He hit 7 3-pointers last night. You know, so the Bulls are playing solid. You know, are they a good team? No. But what we learned about them is that they can, you know, when it gets to the last 5 minutes of the game, they can win it, I guess. They just have to be in the last 5 minutes. At 19, we have the Houston Rockets. They are 38 and 36, sitting at 11th in the Western Conference. They have a 20th rated offense, the 9th rated defense, and are 17th in net rating. They jump 3 spots from last power ranking video. They went crazy in March. They finished March with the best record in the NBA, 13 and 2. They were on an 11-game win streak before last night. They lost to the Dallas Mavericks, but they've been playing great basketball. Jalen Green is playing some of the best basketball of his career, putting up 30s and 40s like it's nothing. Fred VanVleet has also been really good. And Ben Thompson's had some big games. Jabari Smith Jr. has been doing really good. They've had an easier schedule as well, but they've been blowing teams out from the get-go. And they're doing a lot of this without their star player. Alperen Sengun, fortunately, had a bad ankle injury. He missed time, but last night, the game against the Mavericks was the first game they lost without Alperen Sengun in the lineup during this stretch. So that's great. That's crazy. And now they have snuck back in. They're only 2 games behind the Warriors for that last play-in spot in the West and putting more pressure on the Warriors and making things interesting and more competitive, you know. Does Alperen Sengun return? I don't know. But the Rockets have been playing some amazing basketball as of recently. Again, Jalen Green has taken this big step. He's playing the best basketball of his career, you know. And, yeah, it's great to see the Rockets being this competitive this late in the season, which at this point we weren't really watching the Rockets anymore the last couple of years. But now they have been so competitive. They're playing really good. Ime Udoka has done an amazing job over there. And now, I mean, unfortunately, they lost last night, and the Warriors won last night against the Spurs, so that gave another game of a gap. But the Rockets are right there, man. Rockets just need the Warriors to lose a game or two, and they need, you know, to get some big wins to really get in there. But even if they don't get in there, you know, it's going to be still a huge successful season for the Rockets. At 18, we have the Golden State Warriors. Speaking of them, they are 40 and 35, sitting at the 10th and final play-in spot in the Western Conference. They have the 11th rated offense, 16th rated defense, and are 15th in net rating. They stay the same spot from last power ranking video. The Warriors have been very kind of streaky, up and down. You know, they have a stretch where it's like, okay, here come the Warriors. But then they also have stretches where it's like, dang, what has happened to this Warriors team? You know, they've been very up and down. Steph has still been good. Draymond Green can't stop being Draymond Green on the court, you know, in good and bad ways. You know, their offense has been a lot better. Their defense is about average, which is good. But this is just, we all know this is not the same Warriors team. They don't have the same kind of fire and oomph that they've had recently. And even though they are at 40 wins, and they do have a chance to make the playoffs, they're just not a team that, you know, people fear as much anymore. I mean, we still fear Steph Curry, obviously. Steph Curry can still do amazing things. But after that, it's like, I don't really know how much I trust the rest of this team. At 17, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. They are also 40 and 35. They're sitting at 8th in the Eastern Conference. They have the 14th rated offense, 12th rated defense, and are 13th in net rating. They drop a 1 spot from last power ranking video. Without Joel Embiid, it has not been smooth sailing at all. It's been very, very bad. They have dropped from a top 3 team in the East to fighting in the play-in. You know, They have had some good wins here and there. Tyrese Maxey's been playing really good. Guys like Kelly Oubre and Tobias Harris have stepped up. So guys like Paul Reed, and they have Kyle Lowry now and all this stuff. But it's still just not enough because this team was built around Joel Embiid. But earlier today, before I recorded this video, there's potential that Joel Embiid is going to be back, maybe even tomorrow. Against OKC, he might be back. And that changes, of course, that changes a lot. Because the Sixers, they still have about 7 games left in the regular season. So maybe if Joel can have a decent 7-game, stretch and just kind of get his body or get his, kind of shape back a little bit before the playoffs, that changes everything for the 76ers. So we'll see what happens with Joel. At 16, we have the Miami Heat. They are 41-33, sitting at 7th in the Eastern Conference. They have the 21st rated offense, the 6th best defense, and 16th in net rating. They dropped 3 spots from last power ranking video. The Heat, we thought they were going to turn it on, honestly. After Jimmy Butler had that fight with the Pelicans, they coming back from All-Star break, they had one of the easier schedules in the NBA. And it was like, all right, this is where the Heat kind of show themselves. And they did for like 3 games. And then after that, they went back to what they were doing the first half of the season. It's just been very rough for Miami. Of course, they've had injuries and stuff like that. I still haven't seen Tyler Hero or Kevin Love play basketball in a couple months. But, man, this offense just sucks, dude, man. Terry Rozier was brought in to help it, and he's been better recently. Last night he had a really good game. But, yeah, Bam just has been on cold stretches. Jimmy Butler still is having games where he's scoring 10 points and 12 points, which is not something that he can afford right now. And it's just, this team just is not good in the regular season. That's just what it is. Of course, we still have to give them a little bit of respect because of what they could do in the playoffs. But it's going to be really tough to do it again, what they did last year. Again, a heater, especially if they have to go against the Bucks again. Or maybe they might even, there's a scenario they might have to go against the Celtics again, which is going to be just really, really tough to duplicate this season. At 15, we have the Los Angeles Lakers. They are 42-33, sitting at 9th in the Western Conference. They have the 15th rated offense, 15th rated defense, and are 19th in net rating. They jump 2 spots from last power ranking video. Lakers have been good recently. They've won, I think, 6 of their last 7 games, I want to say. They've been playing excellent ball. They're 9 games above 500, which is really good. LeBron has been good. He dropped 40 last night. AD has been good in there. But it's been the others that stepped up. D'Angelo Russell has still been playing really good. Austin Reeves is playing great basketball. So is Rui Hachimura. Their bench has not been the same, obviously. Their bench has kind of been, they've sacrificed a lot, which is why the Lakers are doing this now. Coming into like February and stuff, they realize, you know what? We need to score to win games. We can't just grind teams out because we don't have the personnel for that. So we're just going to have to just put our best players out in terms of skill, and let's do it. And that's what's really been carrying them, They've sacrificed a lot of their defense. They were one time like a top 10 defense. That has fallen. But they also were one of the worst offenses in the league, and now they're about average. So that's how they're winning games. They're just like, you know what? We just got to sacrifice our defense, and we got to score more. And it's been working for them. And they're becoming a very dangerous team. And looking at the playoff races and stuff like that, they're not that far off from getting to the 7 and 8. Which, of course, if you're in the play-in, you want to get to the 7th and 8th because at that point, you only have to win 1 game. Even if you lose the first game, you can win the second game. When you're 9-10, it's very much harder because you have to win 2 games. So you want to get to 7 and 8, and the Lakers are not that far out of it. At 14, we have the Indiana Pacers. They are 42-33, sitting at 6th in the Eastern Conference. They have the 2nd best offense, the 24th rated defense, and are 14th in net rating. They are tied with 2 other teams for having the biggest drop from last power ranking video. They've dropped 4 spots. The Pacers just have not been the same since early in the year when they were in-season tournament in the finals and everything was going great. It has not been like that. Of course, they still have won some games. They still look solid. Tyrese Halliburton had been on a really cold stretch, of course, dealing with the hamstring injury. He just has not been the same since early in the year. Pascal Siakam has been very solid. Their defense still is not great, even though it has jumped a tiny bit with Pascal Siakam there. But they're still a team that, honestly, just I don't really take super seriously when it comes to playoff time. Now, of course, they have the offensive firepower and stuff to be able, to hold their own and win some games. But it's just, I don't know, that defense and just the way Tyrese Halliburton and the team has been playing, they just don't have the same kind of energy and the firepower that they had early on in the season. At 13, we have the Phoenix Suns. They are 43 and 31, sitting at 8th in the Western Conference. They have the 9th rated offense, the 13th rated defense, and are 10th in net rating. They also dropped 4 spots from last power ranking video. This Suns team is just very kind of disappointing and confusing in ways. Because they do have good stretches where you're like, all right, they win a game or two, and it's like, okay, the Phoenix Suns have some good wins. And then they have a game where they just get blown out by a team that they're not supposed to get blown out by, and it's like, what the heck is going on? You know, um, they have just it's just so like I don't know what to think of the Suns team. Like I don't really believe in the Suns team that much, to be honest. Even though they do have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, 3 players that could go drop 30 or 40 even if they really want to. It just hasn't. The role players are not great. Even though Grayson Allen is having an amazing season, Houston Nurkic has been solid, but their bench is just not there. Their defense is just it lacks a lot. you know. And there's also times where just Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, they just get too passive. Bradley Beal has not been great this season, even when he has played, especially as of recently. He's had games where it's just he's not shooting the ball super well. KD and Devin Booker have been passive a lot recently as well. It's just that I don't believe in the Suns team a whole lot. Again, they do have the star power where it's like they can win games, and you do kind of give them a little bit of belief somewhat. But the Suns team is just not it. At 12, we have the Sacramento Kings. They are also 43 and 31, sitting at 7th in the Western Conference. They have the 13th rated offense, 17th rated defense, and are 18th in net rating. They jump 3 spots from last power ranking video. The Kings have the same record as the Suns. The Kings have been very up and down. They've had some good stretches, some bad stretches. They lost back-to-back games to the Dallas Mavericks, which is very huge. Domantas Sabonis has been a monster this season, so has De'Aaron Fox. Unfortunately, though, the injury bug has hit the Kings. The Kings were a team last year where they were a top team in the West and all this stuff. A lot of that reason is because health. They didn't have any big stretches where they lost players or anything like that. But this year, unfortunately, it has hit them at the wrong time because Malik Monk is going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks with an MCL sprain. And we also learned Kevin Huerter is going to be out for the rest of the season with a torn labrum. Those are 2 big players. Malik Monk, of course, was kind of like the leader for Sixth Man of the Year, and he might still win Sixth Man of the Year this season, which is a cool 15, 16 points off the bench. And then Kevin Huerter, of course, the spacing that he provides is just big. I mean, they're starting Keon Ellis now, who's been good, especially on the defensive end. He's really good, but just the same spacing and scoring punch is gone now for the Kings. So they really need to kind of find a way to make that up, especially coming into if they're going to be in the play-in. Because Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter are guys that can change a game in the play-in, and now they don't have that. At 11, we have the Orlando Magic. They are 43 and 31, sitting at 5th in the Eastern Conference. They have the 23rd rated offense, the second best defense, and are 11th in net rating. They jump 3 spots from last power ranking video. The Magic have been very, very good. Second half of the season, they've been balling. The whole team, the defense, of course, second best defense. They've been elite there. Paolo and Franz are playing really good. They've gotten some contribution from the bench. Guys like Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, Mo Wagner, Jonathan Isaac is playing really, really good as well. And now they're in the fight. They're not that far from being the 3rd seed. They're only a game and a half behind the Cavaliers for that 3rd spot, which is insane to think about. The Magic have a real possibility of hosting a first round series. Because they're also a game behind the Knicks for number 4. There's a real possibility the Magic can host a first round series, which is crazy to think about. Especially where we thought coming into the season. They've been just really, really, really good. I like this team a whole lot. Unfortunately, they don't have really the spacing or the type of high-power offense maybe to keep up with a lot of these teams. But this defense has just been absolutely insane, We now enter the top 10. At number 10, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are 45 and 30, sitting at 3rd in the Eastern Conference. They have the 17th rated offense, the 7th best defense, and are 9th in net rating. They are the 3rd team that also dropped 4 spots from last power ranking video. The Cavs were one of the hottest teams in the league. They won like 18 of 20 games. Things were going great. But since coming back from All-Star break, things have been very not good. Donovan Mitchell has missed a lot of time, with knee injuries and the nasal fracture. Evan Mobley got injured again. He missed a lot of time with the ankle injury. Max Strus missed about 12 games with a knee injury. So the injuries are piling up again. Their offense has just not been the same. Both their offense and defense have significantly dropped in the second half of the season. They've been one of the worst teams in the league coming back from All-Star break, and it's just really really tough. They lost by 30 to the Nuggets last night, or well yesterday. It was an early game, but yeah, this Cavs team just the injury bug has been hitting them hard, and they just are. It's a tough time to be struggling because it's April now. You only have about 7 games left, and coming into the playoffs, especially going up, you're gonna have to go up against the tough, maybe Indiana Pacers, maybe even the 76ers or the Magic or whatever. You're gonna have to really be on your game. At number 9, we have the New York Knicks. They are 44-30, sitting at fourth in the Eastern Conference. They have the 10th rated offense, the 8th rated defense, and are fifth in net rating. They dropped one spot from last power ranking video. The Knicks had that rough stretch where Brunson ran, everybody was injured, and they lost some games. But Jalen Brunson is back. He had 61 the other night. Jalen Brunson is amazing. Fortunately, OG Anunoby, he did come back for a game or two, but now he's out again with that shoulder swelling up. We still don't really have a timetable on when Julius Randle is going to be back. But Mitchell Robinson is back, which is very surprising and very huge for them. The role players have been playing really good. Dante DiVincenzo is having an amazing season. Josh Hart has been a machine recently. Isaiah Hartenstein, I like what I see from him. Miles McBride has been amazing. I love what Miles McBride has done for the Knicks. So, yeah, this is still a dangerous Knicks team, even without Julius Randle, apparently. They've still been really good, and as long as you bring OG back, I feel like this team is going to be very, very, very dangerous. They're in the battle right now, again, with the Cavs and Magic for the 3 through 5 seed. At 8, we have the Dallas Mavericks. They are 45-29. They're sitting at 6th in the Western Conference right now. Or, I'm sorry, 5th in the Western Conference now, tied 5th and 6th with the Pelicans. They have the 6th rated offense, the 21st rated defense, and are 12th in net rating. They jumped 3 spots in last power ranking video. The Mavericks have been on fire. They had a 7-game win streak in the middle of February, around the trade deadline and All-Star break. Then they came back from All-Star break. They lost 5 of their last 6, but they're back on track. They've won 11 of their last 12 games. They defeated the Rockets team that just won 11 games in a row. They're currently on the hottest win streak in the league. They've won 7 games in a row, and this is a dangerous team. This is a very dangerous team. We all know that, but man, they're playing good. Luka Doncic just kind of jettisoned himself back into the MVP conversation after being a little bit out of it because they were in the play-in and stuff, and Jokic and Shea playing such amazing basketball. But Luka has put himself right back in that mix. He's playing amazing. So is Kyrie Irving, Daniel Gafford as well. The role players have been playing a lot better, and their defense has really stepped up. That's been a thing. Of course, we know about this offense. We know this team can, with Luka and Kyrie, they can both put up 30 whenever they really want to, or 40 whenever they really want to, So we know this offense is going to be good. It's really going to be about how consistently can they get stops, especially late in games. And they've been doing that. Their defense throughout this 11, 12-game stretch has been top 5, So their defense is really locking in. And if their defense locks in, oh man, this makes this team even more dangerous. They're already dangerous while being a 20th rated defense. Bring this team up a little bit more, and oh my God, this is going to be a team you don't want to play in the first round, man. They're very scary. At 7, we have the New Orleans Pelicans. They are also 45-29, tied with the Mavericks for the 5th and 6th spot, even though the Mavericks have the tiebreaker apparently right now. But New Orleans, they have the 12th rated offense, the 4th rated defense, and are 4th in net rating. They take the biggest jump. They jump 5 spots from last power ranking video. The Pelicans have been amazing as of recently. Since that coming back from All-Star break, they've been really, really good. They have some big streaks. Zion Williamson is back. The old Zion that we're used to seeing is back. Unfortunately, Brandon Ingram did get injured, but hopefully he'll be back before the end of the regular season. CJ McCollum is playing really well. Herb Jones is playing really well. Trey Murphy III has been playing really well. I love the depth that they've been playing with. Their defense, they have a top 5 defense in the league, which is huge for this team. So this is definitely another one of those teams that it gets very, someone's gonna have to play them in the first round, and it's not gonna be an easy one, So the Pelicans definitely have a kind of formula, especially if Brandon Ingram comes back and he's playing like how Brandon Ingram was playing before the regular season, and Zion could still kind of, take this into the playoffs. This is definitely a team that's another scary one. Maybe not as scary as the Mavericks, but still a scary one. At number 6, we have the LA Clippers. They are 47-27, sitting at 4th in the Western Conference. They have the 3rd rated offense, the 18th rated defense, and are 7th in net rating. They dropped 1 spot from last power ranking video. The Clippers have been struggling. They've been one of the hottest teams, one of the best teams in the league. They come back from All-Star break, and things have not been great. They've been about a 500, maybe even below 500 team recently. They have won a couple games in a row due to Kawhi and PG turning up in the 4th quarter. I mean, Paul George had to put up 41 points for them to beat the Hornets last night. Paul George had to score 40 to beat the Hornets. Like, this team has just not been there, and it's been called out, especially by Ty Lue and a lot. And even when you're watching them play, especially, I think that Sixers game the other day where they came back and won in like the last couple minutes. But watching that Sixers game, really locking into the Clippers, it's just they don't have the same feel to them. Like, they're not playing hard, really. Like, there's a lot of times where people are just walking back on defense, kind of not really caring about the defensive end, which has been a big thing. The defense has really dropped. I mean, they have the 18th rated defense now. Before this, they were like what, about top 10 defense. Their defense was amazing, and now it's below average. Their defense has really taken a big drop. Which is crazy because you have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, two of the best wing defenders in the game. you know, so yeah, their defense really needs to get right. They need to really start hustling on defense and really start making things happen. Because even though they do have the top end talent of Kawhi, PG, Harden, Westbrook is back now, but I mean they got to really step it up and start playing basketball again. We are now in the top five. At number five, we have the Milwaukee Bucks at 47-27, sitting at number two in the Eastern Conference. They have the fifth rated offense, 14th rated defense, and are eighth in net rating. They jump two spots from last power ranking video. The Bucks look a lot better. The defense, one of the worst, is now average, which is really good. Their offense is still great. Giannis is still having an amazing season. The only thing about this Bucks team is that they need their stars to step up. Like, Bobby Portis has been playing really good. The role players have been doing their thing. But they need Dame, Brooke, and Chris. They need them. They need Dame to be consistent. Dame has had some big games. He's been better. But they still need him to be Damian Lillard. Brooke Lopez has not been the same. They need Brooke Lopez to start hitting shots. Chris Middleton has been in and out of the lineup, obviously, with injuries. He's back now. They need Chris Middleton. They need those three. They need their 2, 3, and 4 to be there. Because Giannis can only do so much, especially in a playoff series. Giannis is amazing, obviously. One of the best players in the game. He's going to finish top 5 in MVP voting again because he's just been great, But they need their others. They need 2, 3, and 4. They need Lillard, Lopez, and Middleton. If those three step up, that's going to make this Bucks team amazing. They're already good, but those three make them, amazing. At 4, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're 51-23, sitting at number 3 in the Western Conference. They have the 18th rated offense, the best defense, and are third in net rating. They dropped 2 spots from last power ranking video. The Wolves have still been good, even though they have lost Karl-Anthony Towns, which I don't really know exactly when Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be back. Maybe hopefully by playoff time. But, they've still been solid. They've still been in the fight for the 1 seed. They were the 1 seed the other night until the Nuggets won. They lost to the Bulls last night. That was a tough loss. But they've still been good. Anthony Edwards has taken a big jump since Karl-Anthony Towns went out and kind of taking the leadership role. Rudy Gobert has been really good. Again, I still love their role players. Their defense is still elite. And yeah, Karl-Anthony Towns just makes his team a whole lot better. So hopefully he gets back soon. But even without him, they've still been a very good team. But they're going to really need him, especially for the playoffs. At number 3, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are 52-22, sitting at number 2 in the Western Conference. They have the 4th rated offense, the 5th rated defense, and are 2nd in net rating. They stay the same from last power ranking video. Thunder are still in this battle for the number 1 seed with OKC or Denver and Minnesota right now. They currently are actually the 1 seed. I'm sorry, I said number 2. They're the 1 seed right now in the West because of losses. They have the same amount of wins as Denver, but they have 1 less loss, and they have the tiebreaker over Denver as well, which is big. But yeah, this OKC team could be the number 1 seed in the West, which is amazing. Shai Alexander is still right in there in the MVP conversation, even though he did miss a couple games. But they've still been solid. Jalen Williams, he had a great game last night. Love Jalen Williams. Chet Holmgren has been really good. And this is just a really good OKC Thunder team. We know what they are. Really, it's going to be about now how real are they in the playoffs, really. Because they might have to go up against a tough team in the first round. But I think this OKC team is just one of those teams that's just man, they really have everything. You know what I mean? So really, we're just waiting on what the playoffs are going to be like for OKC. At number 2, we have the Denver Nuggets. They are 52-23, sitting at number 2 in the Western Conference. They have the 7th rated offense, the 10th rated defense, and are 6th in net rating. They jumped 2 spots from last power ranking video. The Nuggets look like those unstoppable Nuggets teams again. They have been absolutely killing it. Nikola Jokic might win his 3rd MVP in 4 years. Michael Porter Jr. is playing good. Aaron Gordon's playing good. Jamal Murray is playing good. The role players have really stepped up a lot. and they're fighting for the 1 seed. They came out and said, we want the 1 seed. Because we know last year, when we're at Denver and we're at home and in Denver, not many teams are going to beat us in Denver. So they want that 1 seed again. They've just looked like the unstoppable Nuggets that we saw last year again. And this is just an amazing team, obviously. They're reigning chance for a reason, and you're seeing it. Nikola Jokic is putting up 28, 18, and 16 in his sleep. So it's just, Nuggets are just that team where it's just like, dang, how can we really beat them? Especially when it comes to playoff time. And at number one, they did a clean sweep. Every power ranking video we've done, they have been number one, and it's no surprise. It is the Boston Celtics at number one in the East, best record in the league, sitting at 58 and 16. They have the number one rated offense, the third rated defense, number one in net rating. They stay the same. The Celtics are the Celtics. Even though they did lose back-to-back games to the Hawks, they blew a 30-point lead. They did. And their late-game offense has not been amazing. They still are the Boston Celtics. And even though you could take that a little bit into account with their fourth quarter offense and stuff, which is something that's been very shaky this year, but they also have not had a lot of time to really adjust to that because they have not really been in a lot of close games this season, But, I mean, it's still an amazing team, obviously. They're still the favorites, in my opinion, to win it. They still have a lot of expectations on them, obviously. But really, it's just about, can they get that fourth quarter offense going? Can they get that fourth quarter offense to a point where it's like, all right, it's not just Jason Tatum having the ball and everyone looking around for 18 seconds on a possession. Can they get something going? Can they consistently get their offense to keep doing their thing? But besides that, I mean, I'm not really super worried about that for Boston. Maybe against some teams in some situations I might be a little bit. But, I mean, again, I think they're still the favorites in my eyes. In everybody's eyes, really. But yeah, it's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you enjoyed the content around here, consider subscribing, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. Join the membership. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.